One day, my parents decided to chase me out of the house and take me to university to study engineering. Because nothing says, "I believe in you," like being physically escorted to a building and told to become an engineer. I didn't choose engineering. Engineering chose me. Well, actually, my parents chose it, and I chose to survive. So there I was, sitting in a lecture hall trying to understand thermodynamics, which is basically the science of things get hot and I don't know why. The professor was speaking in a language that was technically English but sounded like ancient Sumerian. And that's when I saw her. Her name was Tumiya. She sat 3 rows ahead, slightly to the left. She had this way of taking notes that made even thermodynamics look interesting. I didn't pay too much attention to her at first. I was there to study. That's what I told myself. But then she spoke. The professor asked a question. She raised her hand, and when she spoke, her voice, I don't know how to describe it. It was like honey, but if honey could talk. It was like a lullaby that decided to become a conversation. It melded my heart like butter on a hot pancake. I immediately forgot everything about engineering. I forgot formulas. I forgot equations. I forgot what a calculator even was. All I knew was I needed to hear her voice again. But I was shy. I was awkward. I was an engineering student, which is the same thing as saying I had no social skills and smelled slightly of solder. Weeks passed. I continued sitting 3 rows behind her, pretending to study while actually just listening. Then, one day, it happened. I was walking back to my apartment after a particularly brutal lecture on fluid dynamics. Trust me, fluid dynamics is exactly as exciting as it sounds. I was carrying a backpack full of textbooks that felt like they were filled with bricks. And there she was. Tumiya was struggling with groceries. She had bags in both hands. One was slipping, and she looked like she was about to drop everything. Now, I'm not a hero. I'm not brave. I'm the guy who gets scared when his phone battery drops below 20%. But something came over me. "Can I help you with those?" She turned around. She smiled. And that voice. "Oh, thank you. That would be wonderful." I helped her carry her groceries, and then, somehow, I changed direction. I didn't go to my apartment. I went to hers. My brain was screaming, "What are you doing?" But my feet were apparently on a mission. We arrived at her apartment. It was small, but cozy. There were pictures of her family on the walls. There was a plant that looked like it was on its last legs. There was a couch that looked like it had seen better days. But I didn't care about any of that. I was standing in the apartment of the girl with the voice, the girl who had melded my heart, the girl who had made me forget what a calculator was. She put down the groceries. She turned to me. She smiled. "Thank you so much for your help. I'm going to take a shower. You should come with me." Wait, what? Did I hear that correctly? Did she just say what I think she said? This was moving faster than any engineering formula I'd ever encountered. And here's the thing, guys. I'm a simple man. A girl who speaks like honey asked me to join her in the shower. How can I refuse? No girl had ever wanted me like this before. Usually they want me to stop talking or to stop existing. But this was new. So I followed her. We got undressed. It was all happening so fast. My heart was pounding. My brain was telling me to think about thermodynamics or something to calm down. But my brain was also panicking, so I just went with it. She entered the shower. I followed. The water was warm. The steam was rising. This was it. This was the moment. This was going to be the best story I'd ever tell. And then the door opened. I didn't even do anything yet. I wasn't even touching her. I was just standing there trying to figure out the water temperature was correct, and then the door opened. It was her auntie. She stood there for a moment, processing what she was seeing. Her eyes widened, her mouth opened slightly. Then she hugged me. Wait, she just hugged me? Did she just hug me? She pulled back. She looked at me with this sad expression. "Is this what you do in university?" And then she left. She didn't slam the door. She didn't scream. She just sighed like a disappointed grandmother who found out you ate the last piece of cake. I stood there, completely naked, in the shower, water still running, steam still rising, and my entire life flashing before my eyes. What just happened? She left. She hugged me and left. Why? Why did she hug me? It was the most confusing thing that had ever happened to me. And remember, I was studying engineering, so my confusion threshold is pretty high. But here's the thing, guys. That hug, it was weirdly warm. It felt like comfort. It felt like someone was standing by my side, like she wasn't judging me, like she was just disappointed, but in a loving way. I looked at Tumiya. She was covering her face with her hands, water still running down her arms. Her voice that normally melded hearts was now just a squeak. That was my auntie. She's the strict one. I knew I had to leave. I grabbed my clothes. I didn't even dry off. I just put them on soaking wet. I could hear my wet shoes squelching as I walked toward the door. Tumiya said something. I didn't hear it. I was too focused on the walk of shame. I walked back to my apartment. My clothes were soaked. My dignity was gone. But I had learned something. First, engineering is hard, but it's easier than awkward family encounters. Second, water is cold, but not as cold as your auntie's disappointment. And third, sometimes life gives you unexpected hugs, and even when they're confusing, they're still warm. I never saw Tumiya again. Well, I did. She sat 3 rows ahead, slightly to the left, but I never made eye contact. I never helped her with groceries. I never followed her to her apartment. But sometimes in the middle of the night, when the engineering books are too heavy and my brain is too tired, I think about her, and about her voice, and about the warmest hug I ever received from a disappointed auntie. And I smile. I hope your university experience goes better than mine, and maybe don't follow people into showers.